When you hear tech, you might think Google Glass, coffee, devices, more Google Glass, but fancy dress? It was a carnival atmosphere for the London leg of Startup Bus Europe, an event that rams 200 budding tech tycoons on 8 coaches, covering 10,000 miles in less than 72 hours, with the sole goal of imagining, building and launching the next big thing.
Startup Bus by design is meant to be painful, and it's actually accidentally, I think, yielded this thing that we call constraints-based innovation, where if you put constraints on people, and impossible constraints, it actually forces them to think in a much more productive way. It's really 40 hours that they're awake straight, and that's a work week, you know.
Some are so desperate to get on the bus, names are pulled out of a hat to land one spare seat. The chosen few have the chance to impress investors on arrival at one of Europe's key tech events.
I sort of have a network in London and a network in the UK, but I don't have a network in the EU and all the different countries. So for me, it's about meeting people.
But ultimately, the prize is much greater. One lucky group will land a trip to tech Mecca, a chance to work at Google and Facebook in Silicon Valley. So is the US so far ahead, Europe's best brains really want to leave?
If you want to go worldwide, you've got to sell to Brazil, China. It's not just the US, you've got to sell everywhere. Where you're based, I don't think there's much to do with it. Now, if you're talking about investor networks, obviously the investor networks in the US are much bigger than over here.
So no matter where the buses visit, there's only one location in mind for these ambitious entrepreneurs. According to the Startup Buses founder, it doesn't really matter where they go.
It's really a globalised economy, and labour is moving around, and it's not a bad thing that people spend a few years overseas, because you want that movement, because that is what's going to build the London tech scene.